Watch your dog the next time it gets ready to lie down. Really watch. It doesn't just flop onto its bed. First comes the ritual. It stands over that soft, flat, perfectly good cushion, and it begins to turn. One slow circle, sometimes two, sometimes three. Then the pawing starts, scratching and bunching at a blanket that did not need adjusting, digging at a surface that holds nothing to dig. And only then, at last, does it curl down with a satisfied sigh, exactly where it was going to lie in the first place. We have all watched this little performance 1,000 times, usually with a smile, and we file it away under harmless dog nonsense. He's just getting comfy. But stop and think about it for a moment. Your dog is doing this on a padded bed, in a temperature-controlled house, with no grass to flatten and no danger anywhere in sight. There is absolutely nothing that needs preparing. So why does your dog still go through the whole elaborate routine every single time without fail? The answer is one of the most wonderful things you can discover about the animal sleeping at your feet, because that funny little spin is not nonsense at all. It is a ghost, a living echo of a wild ancestor, performing a survival ritual that is thousands of years old, faithfully on a memory foam bed. Tonight, let's find out what your dog is really doing when it circles and digs before lying down, and meet the wild creature still living quietly inside your pet. If you enjoy discovering the hidden reasons behind your dog's everyday behavior, subscribe to Dog Mind for more fascinating stories like this. To understand the ritual, we have to travel back long before dog beds and living rooms, to the wild ancestors of dogs, and to their wild cousins who still live this way today. For a wild canid, the place you choose to sleep is a serious matter of survival, and you cannot simply lie down anywhere. You have to make your bed. And so, before resting, wild canids will trample and turn and paw at a patch of ground, pressing down tall grass, clearing away sticks and stones, flattening a rough, uneven space into a smooth, usable hollow. That circling and scratching your dog does on its cushion is the very same motion, the ancient choreography of building a nest. Think about how deeply that instinct must be written to survive all these generations of soft, safe domestic life. Your dog has quite possibly never needed to flatten a single blade of grass. Its ancestors did it every night to survive, and the pattern was passed down and down and down until it arrived in your living room, still running, still faithful, even though the tall grass became a folded blanket a very long time ago. When your dog circles its bed, you are watching evolution itself, playing quietly out on your carpet. If you want to understand your dog a little better with every video, make sure you're subscribed to Dog Mind. But this ancient ritual did more than just smooth out a lumpy patch of ground. It solved several life or death problems at once, and the first of them was temperature. A wild animal sleeping outdoors has no thermostat. It has only the earth and its own cleverness. On a blazing day, digging down into the ground and turning up the cooler soil beneath could mean the difference between resting comfortably and overheating. On a bitter night, trampling grass and leaves into a tight insulating nest could trap precious body heat and hold back the cold. That circle was a way of building the right bed for the weather. And though your heated home has made it unnecessary, the instinct to prepare a spot just right has never gotten the message. The ritual carried a second gift too: safety. When a wild canid tramples and paws at the ground before settling, it is also, in a sense, inspecting it. Flattening the vegetation could drive off anything unwelcome hiding in it, insects or a snake coiled in the grass, and it gave the animal a clear, known surface to rest on. And the turning itself may have served a purpose. By circling before lying down, an animal could choose exactly which way to face as it settled, perhaps positioning itself to feel the wind, to catch the scent of anything approaching, or to keep an eye on the rest of its group. It was lying down, but lying down carefully, on its own terms. There may be one more quiet layer to it, and this one is written in scent. A dog's paws carry scent glands, small sources of that dog's own personal signature. So when your dog scratches and paws at its bed, it may be doing more than fluffing it up. It may be signing it, leaving its own familiar smell pressed into the fabric, quietly marking that spot as mine. A bed that smells like you is a bed that feels safe, and there is something rather touching in the idea of a dog gently writing its name into the blankets before it sleeps. Of course, not all of it is ancient instinct. A good deal of it by now is simply your individual dog being your individual dog. Over a lifetime, dogs develop their own private bedtime habits. One dog bunches the blanket into a precise little pillow, another scratches exactly 3 times and no more, another turns only ever to the left. These personal routines are comfort itself, a familiar wind-down sequence, the canine version of fluffing your pillow and pulling the covers just so. Instinct lays down the ancient template, and then a lifetime of habit decorates it, until every dog has its own signature way of going to bed. If this kind of dog behavior mystery is something you love, subscribe to Dog Mind and join us for the next one. Now, there is one important thing to hold alongside all this charm, because it matters for your dog's well-being. For the vast majority of dogs, this circling and digging is completely normal, healthy, and endearing. But the ritual can occasionally become something else, something worth paying attention to. If a dog that never used to fuss suddenly begins circling over and over, unable to seem to get comfortable, rising and turning and lying down again and again, or pacing restlessly and never quite settling, that change is worth noticing. Difficulty getting comfortable can sometimes come from joint pain or arthritis, especially in older dogs. Persistent, repetitive circling can occasionally have other medical causes, and restless circling that never resolves into rest can be a sign of anxiety or discomfort. None of this is cause for alarm over the everyday happy little spin, but if the ritual suddenly changes or stops ending in peaceful sleep, that is a conversation to have with your veterinarian. So how should you look at all of this? Simply this: the ordinary bedtime dance, the relaxed turn and paw and flop that ends in a contented sigh, is one of the most delightful windows you have into your dog's deep history, and the version to watch for is the one that looks different, restless, unresolving, new. The happy ritual is a memory. The troubled one is a message. And a person who knows the difference is a person taking wonderful care of their dog. So the next time your dog stands over its bed and begins that funny, familiar spin, don't look away, and don't just smile at the silliness of it. Look closer and see it for what it truly is. In that small circling shape on the cushion, there is a wolf on a wind-swept plain at dusk, pressing down the grass, checking the ground, turning to face the wind, building a safe place to sleep under an open sky. Thousands of years later, in the warmth and safety of your home, your dog is still doing it, still keeping faith with an instinct older than history itself, just to lie down in the very spot it had already chosen. It doesn't need to anymore, and yet, beautifully, it still does. And now, at last, you understand why. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of your dog's mind, subscribe to Dog Mind for more stories that reveal what your dog is really trying to tell you.